Hey, thanks so much for being here. Welcome or welcome back. So this video, it's part one of two of the topic on the topic of color coding. I want to talk about a few ideas and styles that I would like to incorporate in my planning system moving forward as a form of keeping it fun, but also making sure that I'm managing my time wisely and I am just keeping track of time. So I wanted to use the first part just to kind of talk about different ideas and just share with you different approaches that we could incorporate as planner enthusiasts. And if you're like me, if you're trying to take back control of your days, then this could be a style that can be very helpful and beneficial. So if you're interested, I hope you stick around. So starting with the benefits of color coding, I believe that color coding, it's a tool that it's so simple, but yet it's so effective and beneficial to help you have clarity and prioritize what is important to you. So throughout your days, your month, however it is that you use it, but it's a visual aid that can guide you to stay focused on the items that matter and to pay attention to different areas of your life. If you are like me, for example, if you're trying to keep track of different projects and different areas of your life, then you also have, your family, your goals, your hobbies and stuff like that. You can use color coding to categorize each one of those and then have an overall visual on the areas and how you plan to approach your action towards each of those areas. So for example, I have opened here my month of February of this year. This year I decided to on February to use color code because I had to make sure that a lot of important stuff were done before we left for vacation. We left and spent an entire month away in Japan. So before that happened, I wanted to make sure that the most important things were done at the beginning of the month. And to do that, I used the color coding, as you can see them on the left here. This was a way for me to categorize each area and make sure that the most important things for each of those areas were complete at the beginning of the month. And I used the color code on the left as a to-do sort of item or list, and then this sort of approach I then kept in mind when I was planning throughout my weeks and my days, and just making sure that I was hitting each one of those areas, the most important parts, at least on every time I open my planner. This is where I come first, and then I knew what area I needed to work on. I do use the colors to accentuate different areas, but also the order of importancy. So that's also another way to use the color, just to kind of give them an urgency or important, or maybe later kind of feeling to each item. And then you don't have to actually think about that portion when you're opening your planner and you're working on your items. You already know what color means what, and then you create that connection and that urge not the urge, but you create that connection between what it means and which one you need to tackle first. Bringing over your color to your actual weekly setup, it's definitely beneficial in the sense of not only making sure that your items are being done. So for example, in here I had my to-dos on a list mode, and then I grab those items and I plug them in to my weeklies. This is an example, not necessarily the same, but this is actually April, but this is just to tell you that I have been using it consistently for a few months now, and I can definitely see the difference in how productive and how well it works, how productive and helpful it is, and how well it works to help me manage my time a little bit better. Now it can always improve, and there's always some tweaks and things like that you can incorporate throughout your journey, I guess. But just to kind of get started, this is like the most basic in my opinion, just to kind of have a list with the color code of the items that you want to accomplish on that month, and then grab from those on a daily basis or weekly basis and plug them in. And then you can come over here and color code them, and then you will have which is the whole overall idea is for you to have an overall view of how you have been spending your time throughout the week. You can compare here without even reading the information, just by looking at the colors. That in my case, pink is more personal items. I did spend more time doing those, and that includes different areas. It includes working out, it includes reading, it includes writing, it includes time with family. So it's a broad category, but it is one that is very important to me, and I am glad that I can see that I was actually very intentional in making sure that I was spending time doing those things. In this case, I came back here and added color to the areas after the fact. So I just went about my day, did my things, added my notes and my to-dos and stuff like that. Anything that I did throughout the day, I came back here every now and then and just fill it in. And then at the end of the day, I came back and color coded the areas. So the area, for example, my personal time, it's pink. So I color coded that through the time slots that I spent doing anything that was more personal. Then work, which is blue in my case. Then errands or home care, which is gray in my case, and then pink again. So as you can see, I can have a good idea, I guess, on how much time I spent doing more personal items, more house items or errands or any adulting sort of things, and then how much actual time I spent working. And so this gives me a good idea on how much time I'm spending on each area and where I want to adjust. The same thing happened on the next day. I have here, as you can see, there's no blue, so this tells me that I did not spend any time in work or doing anything else other than just my personal morning time, evening time, and then just errands. And probably this was a day, one of those that you actually have to go places and spend some time in a commute or something like that, so it takes much longer. So this is a good overview, a good approach when you are first starting to color code, because it gives you the ability to kind of tweak around how you want to apply the concept and how helpful it is for you. Either way, there are multiple ways to use color coding systems or apply the system to your planning methods. And so this is just one option. You can plan first, add your items throughout your day, and then come back and then add your colors, or you could do like I did this week and just add your colors beforehand, and then that way by Monday you already know what time you will have for each area and how to allocate everything else that will happen throughout the day between those times that you already had assigned to different areas of your life. So again, for example, here pink will be for personal. I do have a key at the bottom here just to kind of remind me what each color means. So pink will be my personal time. I like to take my morning time just for my personal, either reading, working out if I decide to, going for a walk, stuff like that. Anything that has to do with self-care, family time and stuff like that goes in the morning. Then the darker red or pinkish, I think this is called, is for anything that has to do with either content creation or filming, or which is the same thing, I guess, but it also kind of interlock with some work. So if I have anything that is imperative and urgent to get done on that day, it has to happen during this time of the day. So sometimes I will have just one thing to do, or maybe three, a couple of things, or sometimes I just don't have anything and I just decide to use the time to either edit content on stuff like that. So that's the time that I allotted myself to do that. And what I did here again is, before the week began, I went in and allotted the time that I was willing to spend on each area. So for example, from 6 to 8, actually from 6 to 9, I will prefer to spend that time in my personal time. From 9 to 12, if I want to start creating content or anything that has to do with filming or editing or anything that has to do with urgent things that needs to be done, and that I want that to happen from Monday all the way to Friday. And then on the weekend I want to focus on something else, which takes me back to from 12 to 2, which is family and fun time, just more relaxed time. Whatever happens, maybe go out to the beach or the lake, or go for a walk, or go and sit at the park and stuff like that. Just anything that it's not necessarily an event time restricted sort of happening. It will happen from 12 to 2. They can also include if we, for example, want to kind of sit down and eat our breakfast and just talk and chat before our actual rest of the day begins. That will happen throughout this time. And then I have another block here at 2 p.m. from 2 to 3 to do anything else that is still important to get done that day. So for example, maybe I sent a message at the beginning of the day and I'm still waiting for a reply. Maybe I can follow up. I know I should follow up the next day, but if I get a reply and I need to reply to that reply and stuff like that. So anything that's still important throughout for that day will have to happen on this time. And I know it sounds more time constrained, more too strict, I guess, but really having a visual like this before the actual week begins gives you a sense of control of where you're spending your time. And if you actually follow through at the end of the week, the satisfaction is it's just too great to it's actually worth it. So this is just two options here, or two approaches on how to actually apply the color codes. The next part of this series is me actually using this approach in my actual planning and just taking you along the process. So grab your planners and let's get started. So this time, to make it a little bit more easy, I guess, to follow along, I'm going to divide my week or my days in 3 sections. So it will be morning, day, and evening, and that will allow me to just plug in the most important things that I want to get done during those areas. I am using a common planner in the horizontal setup. You can definitely arrange this however it's easier for you. Like you can see here in this week, I used it. I actually whited out the days of the week and just created my own spread to use it with the time instead. And I have been using that for a few weeks here because I want to know exactly what time and how long I'm going to spend on each area. So as you can see, this is just it gives you an overall view of the entire week, but it also gives you the actual times that you're going to be spending on each area. So if this is something that you think might be more beneficial in your case, maybe if you happen to have the timed vertical version of this planner or any other one that is already timed, you can apply this method, this style, or you can just create your own. It's super easy, just the days of the week at the top, divide them horizontally, and in my case I just added the times on one section only towards the left of the page and used that time throughout the entire week. So this is that view, but in this case I am going to use it in a different mode. So like I said, I'm not going to white out the days of the week. I'm just going to divide the days in 3 sections, so morning, afternoon, evening, and then add the colors in form of a dot. So let me just go back to that month. So it will be something like this with the dots that pertain to each of the codes or the sections. But first, before I add any colors, I want to go ahead and plug in my actual items that I need to get done throughout the day. So anything that I already know that is coming up, any appointments, any workouts that I know that I want to get done on a specific day or a specific time of the day, and stuff like that. So first, before I get started, I'm going to go ahead and divide my days, just to kind of have a visual of where my morning begins and my afternoon in my evening and stuff like that. What are those specific areas? And that should give me a good visual on where to plug in those different items, since I'm not going to be having the time to follow with. Okay, so now I went and divided my entire view here and boxed in all of the areas of my day, and then also boxed in the right portion of the setup so I can have areas for different to-dos and notes. But this is a step that you do not have to do. You can just decide on what spread you're going to use, whether the timed or the horizontal overview, and decide whether or not you want to clarify what area is the morning, afternoon, and evening, and then go for that. You don't necessarily have to do all these steps. You just know that I like to make it a little bit more creative and engaging and more visual. So I want to have and make sure that my areas are defined, and that way I can have just a clarity on where I'm going to be plugging in the different information throughout my day. And I just decided to go ahead and divide this portion, or not divide, but outline the portion where we have the days of the week. And that's just me because I like it. I'm thinking I might add other information in here as well, and that has nothing to do with the color coding. I'm just going off tangent here only because I want to make it pretty. Okay, so another recommendation or tip I have before I get to actually start filling in my information is to use an erasable pen and or a pencil. And the reason behind that is if this is something that you are just starting, using something that feels more in control and that allows you flexibility, it's definitely a good approach for you to be more confident when you're setting up your planner, because you know that if anything changes, because let's face it, we can plan all day long, but sometimes the days just have other plans for us and we just have to go with the flow. Especially if you are a mom or stay-at-home mom working from home, you know that there's so many other things that could happen around your time that might take over any plans that you have already set. So having the flexibility to plan with an erasable pen or a pencil, it's something that can give you some peace, knowing that you can move things around if you need to. So now that I have my layout here to get started, I am going to start plugging in the information that I want to for the different days or times of my day. To get started, since I have different areas that I want to plan ahead, I want to, instead of starting adding them to my actual slot of the day, I'm going to start adding them as a task list. And that is anything that I want to make sure that happens this week. I'm going to just add it as a form of a Alistair method kind of form. And then from here, I'm going to decide where I want to plug those details or those different tasks. So now that I have a good idea on at least the most important things that I want to accomplish this week, I can pull from here and start adding them to the best areas of my day to actually get them done. So for example, let's start with the first one. I want to film 2 videos this week, where I know that I can film videos is in the morning, so it has to happen in the morning at some point. So usually my morning and Mondays are the best time, I guess, of my week. I feel more energized, rested, and I just feel overall more creative most of the time. That doesn't happen every single Monday, but usually that's like my best time of the week. So I know that I want to at least pre-plan that there. So I'm gonna add the film 2 videos. Okay, and then the next one is editing. So where can I edit? Edit is not something that I didn't necessarily enjoy, and I don't necessarily either do it too much to my videos. Most of the time you might see bloopers, you might see me like my tongue get twisted and or noises in the background and stuff like that. I do try to edit a little bit if it is too much, but otherwise it's just the nature of it and I just go with the flow. So edit, it's not necessarily my favorite portion of it, but I do want to do, you know, some kind of edit. Maybe add a title, add an ending, maybe cut some areas that are maybe too much silence or stuff like that, or maybe speed it up. For example, when I'm writing, I don't think that you want to sit there for 30 minutes to see me write. So yeah, so where can I plug that in? I know that doesn't necessarily need my full attention, so I can just do it mid-morning or evening. So I'm just gonna do, instead of Monday, I'm gonna do that for, let's say, Tuesday evening or Tuesday afternoon instead. Okay, and then the next thing is scheduling. So after I film, edit, I need to upload and schedule. So usually that can happen around Tuesday or Thursday. So I can do that on Thursday. I know that I have to do that, so I'm gonna make sure that it happens at some point in the morning. So schedule. And then the next thing is content brainstorming. I like to have a few ideas down the line just to kind of pick which one I feel like it's a good fit for the next video or something like that. And I like to kind of brainstorm in the morning. It's the time that I feel a little bit more creative, and again, I have more quiet time and I can focus and perhaps decide or just kind of brainstorm about whether that idea aligns with my brand or what I want to, the value that I want to provide and stuff like that. So for content brainstorming, I would like to do that in the morning. So I'm going to do that on perhaps Tuesday. And let's keep in mind that this planner, it's only for my content media planning, so there's no personal or anything else like school related, homeschool related, or home care, or you know, any of that in here. I do use this along with my actual personal planner to kind of interlock what's happening and plug in the information. But this is just to kind of give you an overall view, an idea. You will, if you use only one planner for everything, then you will have obviously more things to do and plug in and kind of move around as you need to. So just wanted to get that out there. The next one is posting in media. That's something I want to do every single day, so I want to add it every day, and it has to be in the morning. It could be later in the morning, so I can just add it down here, and I'm going to abbreviate it anyways, just to kind of move quick. Okay, and then what else? I do want to, spreadsheets are done every 15th of the month, so I like to kind of get them done at the beginning of the month. As you can see here, we're in the second week of the month, but if I do get them done, let's say that I start working on them on a Monday, which is again my most productive day, so anything that is important that needs to get done should be on this day or at this time of the day. So I'm going to do spreadsheets and reports. Okay, and then some reaching out to do collaborations, whether that is with product collaborations or affiliate or just content creation. So I want to do that on Wednesday morning again, and then I do have a group. If you didn't know, I will post it below just in case. I never really talk about it, but I do have a group for the common planner only. I really love this planner, so I had to create a group. I actually created a while ago, and it's just being self-sustained sort of, but it's a neat little group that we use to share spreads and ideas about using the common planner. So I will link it below in case you are interested in that. I will like to post at least once a week just something, maybe a question or something to keep the members engaged. So I like to do that. I'm going to do that on Tuesday. And then finally, I have my monthly content planning, which is something that I do at the beginning of the month, but I like to review it every now and then, so I can do that on Friday. So now I have all of my to-dos in here, or my tasks for the week that are most important to me. They're plugged in on the areas that I want to focus, or the areas of my day. So as you can see, I separated the weekend, since this is a work planner sort of, or a content media planning. That's something that I consider sort of work. So I don't carry it, or try not to carry it to my weekends, because my weekends are more fun and personal and family and just relaxing kind of time. And in my case, I like to start my weekends on Friday, so Fridays are more chillaxed. If I have anything left to do from my to-dos, maybe I will move it to Friday. But other than that, I try to ahead of time make sure that I'm clear on making everything happen during the week from Monday through Thursday. So, and again, as you can see here, most of my items are scheduled to be on a morning time each day, and then I just have this one on the evening or afternoon, because again, since this is work, I like to use my most focused or productive time of the day to make sure those things happen, and that time is during the morning. So everything else that happens in my life, whether that is school, homeschooling, house care, family time, that usually happens from the afternoon to the evening. So this gives me a good overview on how I want to spend my time in terms of work. Another area that I just added is this area down here, because I want to have a color code key just to kind of know what color will be assigned to which area, just as a reminder. So let's go ahead and add those colors. I am going to, for example, in here again, since I'm only doing work stuff, I only want to choose a few colors. So I have just 3 colors here, just to differentiate from one item to the other. I'm using the eyeliners and the CR sort of, well, actually never mind, I can never say this name. It will be linked below. These are my favorite actually to use in Tomb of River paper, because you can go over it multiple times and choose your shade, and it won't mess up the page. But anyways, so I have these 3 colors, and I just have to, first of all, before I start color coding everything, I want to have a key just to kind of remember everything that I want to do. So the most dark one first is for YouTube, so I am just going to add a dot in here, and I will add video or a posts. And then for any media creation or anything that has to do with media content creation and stuff like that, that includes Instagram, for example, TikTok and stuff like that, will be here. So I'm just going to add media or content. And then finally, the gray is for any other tasks that are more administrative tasks, like my sales and use tags, reports, spreadsheets, stuff like that. So now that I have my key, I can go ahead and start color coding everything in here. So I do have one more thing. I do want to publish a video on Monday, and this is a collaborative video with Plan Your One Life with Brittany. We decided she reached out, and I am so glad she did. We decided to collaborate in this topic because, again, I think it's just, first of all, I think you're going to see this topic pop out within the next few weeks, and it's because I'm thinking, my logic behind it is because we are in the second quarter of the year, and we are trying to keep that momentum of keeping our time and managing our time and making sure that we are being intentional with what we do in working towards the goals that we set at the beginning of the year. So it is that time of the year where we are still trying to kind of push ourselves to get that done, even though we're still in the second quarter of the year, so we do have a little bit more time to go. But yeah, it just kind of feels right for this time of the year. So we have released a collaboration on this topic, so I will link her video below that has to do with the same topic, and that way you can use both informational videos and compare the styles and just kind of do them to your own, and apply them to your own style or system moving forward. But I do want to make sure that I have that reminder in here, making sure that I follow through. Just gonna add a dot there instead. Okay, so then that video is going to be released on a Monday, and then usually my regular videos are released on Sunday, so I do want to add that in here. Now that I have everything added to my calendar or to my overview of my week, I can start color coding. And like I said, videos are going to be red, so I just want to add one simple dot in here, not to make it too overwhelming, but just kind of to call my attention to those two and just remind myself that videos are going to be released those 2 days. Sometimes I like to kind of follow, make sure that I'm paying attention to comments and reply quickly and stuff like that. So I have those there. And then the next one was the media content. Media content is, again, any postings on my Instagram account or stuff like that. So I do have that every single day. That's the ideal. Every single day in the morning, I would like to post there. And then also that also goes for my group posting, which I said here. And then anything that has to do with content creation, it's also the same color. So brainstorming goes here. Filming goes up here. So I do want to add that there. Collaboration for content, that's here, or research, that goes there. Actually, no, never mind. That's not that color. And okay, so now we get to administrative tasks, which is, for example, my spreadsheets, financials, and collaboration research. That's more my more administrative. Scheduling and reviewing, that's also more admin sort of thing, just to make sure that things continue to run smoothly. Same thing with editing. I think that's sort of more admin than not. So here is an overview. It's very simple. Again, I'm trying to keep it more simple just to kind of give you the idea on how I apply this to my own system. But this is a good start to my week, and then I still have some more time open in between in my morning and even in my afternoon if I want to incorporate a little bit more things to do throughout my week. I'm not trying to overdo it, just to make sure that the most important things are done. The other thing that I do to kind of track my progress is to use this Alistair method here to just kind of track when I actually did the thing. So to do that, what I'll do is, for example, if I want to film 2 videos and I know that I want to do that on Monday morning, I could just add an open circle on Monday. That's the idea. And then I will add a line to the item just to kind of make sure that it corresponds to it visually. And then I will leave it open until the item is actually done. If it's never colored in, means that I did plan it for that time of the week, but I never actually got it done, and then I'll have to decide whether or not I want to continue it or I want to approach it in a different way. Maybe next week I want to, instead of doing it in the morning on Monday, I will plan it to be in the evening or something like that, or if I want to cancel it altogether. So that will go for the rest of the items of the list, and I do usually try to leave more space just to kind of add more things to add, to have more space to add more things if I have to throughout the week. So basically this concludes the actual applying to the methods. So we talk about the different appliance or different methods. I will show you again. Here we talked about how to apply it after the fact. So after you have already planned your week and you want to see where you spent your time, just to kind of see by category where your time went. This is a way to do it. Maybe just do your items or complete your day or your task for today, and then after the fact you can come in and color code it, and then you will have a visual on how your actual day already passed or how it went. The next one was the time blocking, so making sure that you have allotted the most important things to each time area of your day. If you know what time you will have available to do certain things, or what time of the day is best for you to do or approach certain things. Like for example, in my case, I am more productive and focused in the mornings, and my best day of the week is on Mondays, so I try to focus on planning anything that is most important and urgent to that time of my week. So I went ahead and added that at the beginning of the week from Monday through Friday. So this is more of a time blocking sort of approach, where you have assigned an item to each time block of your entire day. And then finally, what we just did, which was just color code the task for your week, just for you to have a visual on what areas you're working on and what time of the day you are applying that. Not necessarily hourly planning, but or time blocking, but you know what specific area of each day you want to assigned to each one of the areas or tasks that you want to complete that week. So I hope that this simple approach and explanation, or I guess my way of applying this method to my planning system, is helpful to you, that I gave you some ideas on how to apply the concept to your own planning methods. And yeah, if you have questions, suggestions, or if you would like to share your way of applying the time blocking or the color coding to your own planning system, do leave them below in the comments. If you have any recommendations for us to see and compare the styles, also leave that in the comments. And yeah, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.